تخبري اليوتيوب؟
بغيتي تحيدي
لا 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 تسمعني انا قلت لك كنا ندير
شي مشكل غير الفول غير خليتها لا واحد اللي كوموند ماشي هي اللي
النيميرو ولا كمان مي خديجة
لا حتى هذا القصه ماشي ديالي وصافي انا راسي المهم هاد الماء ماشي ديالي
مازال ما بداش حاجة
واش وصلت
درتي مع الاستاذ غيجي
غادي يشغل يوجد داكشي ما هذاكش ديجا ما نسيت ما عنديش النمر هذا لا بس نزل قدام
ديال ماشي مشكل
نزل قدام ولا صافي كوش نشوف
ياك باين
قدام
فيريفي راه فيريفي
غتشوف راسك
شفتي لي شكون سجلني البارح كنت نشوف
الفيديو نضربو
اش ما في ما
جاب الله غايب ماشي
في واحد شي حاجه ما خدامه
لا كيفاش واش دمك فوق التيست تيري تصبر خاطر مخرا طالب
انا راه قلت له كتجي
باش نبغيو نخرجوا شنو الميساج اللي درنا
انت كاين هنا في الجروب
صافي وقت صافي فوق البلاصه صافي له التكست غادي ندير بلاتي وقت ما بغيتو لا ديفيزيون داري خليها مازال ما عندك خلينا ما نعطيوش اللي عندك ديفيزيون دابا نظام عطينا شنو
شنو بغيتي انت شنو التصوير كاين واحد لاجون هو اللي غادي خاصك ما بغيتي
ديك التصوير غادي نديها معايا
ضروري
هدا بغات تكون من فوق ما كنبغيش نبان بزاف وجهي تشد غير لونفيكير خلينا نبان بعيده كنهضر بحال الصغير وقت في
عند
لونفيكير
البعض وانا خصني تليفون باسكو انا هاد لاكاليتي عيانه اما هذيك كوردوني هادو انا عارفه هذا انا شوف صغيره
S'il vous plaît, on va vous demander.
Malika, bonjour, oui, tu vas bien? Ça va? Bonjour, tu vas bien? Ça va? Hein? voilà. هذا هو اللي ديالو شحال نقدروا يفهم كاين اللي ما يفهمش الميكرو الاول من بعد يلا بازي
السلام عليكم
هذا السياس لاباس
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Very well?
Just a little bit.
Yes. Okay,
لا
well,
الميكرو
I think the mic doesn't work.
إلى تجي
Does it work?
It's okay?
C'est bon? Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, dear Dean Abadi, Vice Deans, and students here present, and also my colleagues. All right, so some logistics and technical issues.
Try, please.
Okay, it works. All right, you can hear me now? Good. So once again, good afternoon. Here I would like to say good afternoon to our Dean, Mr. Fsjes Ain, dear Vice Deans and colleagues and students, PhD students here present today. In fact, we will make it in English, as we say, so it's going to be a training in English, and we just go ahead and start, of course, in English, knowing that, of course, there will be some speeches, probably in French or Arabic. So this is our inaugural session, and as you know, of course, the occasion is preparing, or it's a kind of training that will be provided for first and second year students, our doctoral students, and we thought we would gather here today. There are also students viewing us online, as there is a link that has been provided to them. So the idea of organizing an English course, in fact, to doctoral or for the benefit of doctoral students, is the Dean's idea. So it's the Dean's idea, and it's an initiative which we, in fact, value, and it's a great initiative, as you may know. So he's, I'm sure, departing from the idea that the mastery of English is a must for our doctoral students today, for their, of course, careers as researchers, and probably later on as, I would say, professionals. So, again, we thank our Dean, Mr. Fsjes Ain, for this great initiative. And I would like to invite him, before we take turns, my colleagues and I, to talk about this training that will be provided to the, I think the list that I have got from the administration is about 200 students, on 100, exactly 195 doctoral students, first and second year. So please applaud and let's give our dear Dina Badi the chance to tell us and speak to you a little bit about the importance of this training and also this initiative which at the level of our university, I think it's going to be of tremendous impact and use to all of us and to all of our students. So dear Dina Badi, the floor is yours to tell us about your vision. And once again, thank you.
Thank you, Professeur Belika Rocha. Alors, l'initiative d'organiser, je parle en français,
Yes, you're most welcome.
mais ceux qui veulent parler peuvent parler en français, en anglais, en arabe. L'initiative d'organiser des cours en anglais à la faculté pour les doctorants, cela va de soi. Pourquoi? Parce qu'aujourd'hui, la recherche scientifique, c'est essentiellement en anglais. Le français, oui, c'est bien, mais maintenant, le français, c'est un petit peu... nous, bien sûr, on a été protégés par les Français, si je puis dire. On n'a pas colonisé. Maintenant, on a ce défaut français, comme vous le voyez. C'est-à-dire, on s'exprime mieux en français qu'en autre langue. Mais c'est une langue qui nous a caché notre langue, qui est l'anglais. C'est comme un voile. Un voile, aujourd'hui, ce voile, il est tombé. Maintenant, il faut maîtriser la langue anglaise parce que c'est la langue de la recherche scientifique, de la technologie, du développement, du progrès, etc. Si d'une part. D'autre part, comme vous le savez, les futurs doctorants, aujourd'hui, il y a une nouvelle vision du doctorat. Le nouveau ministre, il a une vision d'une nouvelle génération de doctorants. Une nouvelle génération de doctorants qui maîtrisent la langue anglaise, qui publient, qui participent. D'où cette nécessité de venir à votre établissement et non pas se contenter d'être encadré, de faire de la recherche avec un encadrant, etc., d'être ailleurs. Et il faut que vous soyez de plus en plus présent dans votre établissement. Bien sûr, il y a ceux qui ont la majorité ont des occupations professionnelles, etc. Mais il faut donner le temps à votre recherche, à vos études doctorales. Donc, vous êtes appelé à valider deux formations, à savoir l'anglais et une formation en informatique, entre autres choses, pour pouvoir passer à l'année suivante. Ce que je vous suggère aussi, c'est que vous assistiez aux soutenances de doctorat. Aujourd'hui, ce matin, il y avait une soutenance de doctorat qui était très intéressante, à laquelle j'ai assisté. Il faut que vous assistiez. Pourquoi? Parce que les études de doctorat, c'est quand même des études longues, c'est des études fondamentales. C'est pas la formation professionnalisante dont on parle aujourd'hui dans toutes les universités. Toutes les universités aujourd'hui, que ce soit au Maroc ou ailleurs, on parle de la professionnalisation. C'est-à-dire qu'il faut des formations professionnalisantes, professionnelles, pour que l'étudiant, une fois lauréat, puisse être intégré, inséré facilement dans le monde professionnel et l'emploi, et trouver de l'emploi. Or, l'université, la faculté n'est pas un établissement de formation professionnelle. Il y a des établissements de formation professionnelle. Il y a de la professionnalisation, mais la recherche fondamentale, la recherche scientifique, est le cœur. C'est le cœur de l'université. C'est-à-dire, si vous avez choisi de faire des études doctorales, ça veut dire que vous allez aller loin, d'aller approfondir vos recherches, votre travail, etc. Il ne suffit pas d'aller faire de la compilation et faire préparer un rapport ou une thèse, etc., de la soutenir, non. Pourquoi je dis ça? Parce que, naturellement, les doctorants ou les gens qui font des études doctorales, normalement devraient aller vers la recherche, et donc vers le professorat, au lieu de la professionnalisation, c'est-à-dire devenir enseignant-chercheur. L'étude doctorale, normalement, devrait aboutir à une carrière d'enseignant-chercheur. Parce qu'un doctorat ne sert à rien pour la fonction publique ou pour un métier. Si vous avez le master, c'est suffisant. Le doctorat, c'est pour la recherche, pour faire de l'enseignement de la recherche. Donc, aujourd'hui, on est aussi en train de former des nouveaux futurs enseignants. Ces nouveaux futurs enseignants, comme vous savez, peut-être, il y a des conditions pour qu'ils passent le concours de recrutement aujourd'hui. Les conditions, ce sont bien sûr le parcours, les publications scientifiques, le doctorat qu'il a fait, mais aussi la langue. Donc c'est une des conditions, un critère de sélection pour passer la langue anglaise. Aujourd'hui, c'est déterminant. Pour les concours de recrutement qu'on organise aujourd'hui à la faculté, la langue anglaise, c'est un préalable. Il faut que le candidat maîtrise d'abord la langue anglaise. Alors on passe à voir qu'est-ce qu'il a dans son CV, qu'est-ce qu'il a pour publication. D'où l'intérêt de ces cours. D'accord? Aujourd'hui, je pense, la langue anglaise, surtout pour les jeunes, c'est devenu quelque chose d'aisé. On remarque aujourd'hui chez nos jeunes étudiants en licence, ils ont plus de facilité à parler en anglais que français. C'est tant mieux. Je ne sais pas, il y a un projet peut-être, j'ai entendu parler qu'il y a un projet en éducation nationale, le primaire et le secondaire, où on va remplacer bientôt le français. Il y aura plus de français. Les cours vont être en anglais. Anglais à voilà pour l'intérêt de ce sujet. Moi, ce que je vous dis, comme je disais tout à l'heure, il faut que vous assistiez aux soutenances doctorales. Pourquoi? Pour voir un petit peu les discussions, comment on discute, comment on fait les échanges, et comment le candidat doit se défendre, et comment le candidat doit convaincre. Pour convaincre. Parce que finalement, l'objectif de la soutenance du doctorat, comme j'ai vu ce matin, c'est que le candidat arrive à convaincre. C'est-à-dire son idée, sa problématique, etc. C'est une question de capacité à convaincre, à avoir le dernier mot. C'est ça le vrai chercheur. Donc essayez, on va vous envoyer dans le groupe doctorat, chaque fois, là je l'ai vu tout à l'heure, chaque fois qu'il y aura des soutenances doctorat, on va vous envoyer des annonces et essayer d'assister, c'est très intéressant et très important de voir aussi les thématiques qui sont discutées. C'est-à-dire à chaque fois, pour avoir une idée, pour ne pas chaque fois faire la redondance des sujets qui reviennent. Par exemple, le sujet qu'il y a eu aujourd'hui, l'innovation sociale, c'est très intéressant. Aujourd'hui, le Maroc, il a fait un choix d'innover socialement. Vous suivez, il y a les questions de registre social unifié, le registre national de la population, tout ce qui se fait maintenant au niveau social, c'est que le Maroc, il veut avoir une nouvelle politique d'innover en matière sociale, c'est-à-dire faire d'abord le bilan et voir comment on peut arriver à une efficience de la gouvernance sociale. Voilà un thème qui est très intéressant et qu'on peut creuser. On peut avoir d'autres, dans le même thème, avoir d'autres voies, c'est-à-dire creuser dans d'autres voies. D'où l'intérêt de suivre ces soutenances doctorales. Voilà, donc je vous souhaite un bon cours anglais. Je remercie l'ensemble du staff anglais de la faculté, le professeur Maniga Houcha, professeur Omar Taouya, professeur Youssef El-Nadri, qui sont des grands professeurs qui nous ont enseigné nous-mêmes. À un certain moment, nous-mêmes, on était des professeurs. Je me rappelle, nous, on suivait des cours d'anglais. Et c'est le professeur. Hein?
C'est un plaisir.
C'est un plaisir. Voilà, donc je donne la parole peut-être au professeur pour lui dire un mot. Merci. In English.
Yes, yes.
America.
He will be. He's still. Il est dans le programme. Il va.
Ah d'accord. Là, je vais dire un mot. Je sais.
Bien sûr, bien sûr, bien sûr.
I would say welcome to all participants here. Yes.
Welcome.
Il y en a qui te connaissent, d'autres qui ne te connaissent pas.
First of all, before giving my speech about today, I will try to describe a little bit the course contents, the course objectives, the goals behind this course. But first of all, I would like to congratulate you first for arriving at this stage. It's an interesting step in your life that you have to cherish, that you have to enjoy. Thank you.
Hello everyone. So, to be honest, I'm so proud to be here and to see such beautiful faces. I think this is the beginning of your journey. Learning a new language, especially English, is a plus for you. And I'm sure with this generation, the Facebook generation, as some people call you, things will be better. Okay? So this is just the beginning for you, and hopefully you will enjoy this experience and you will learn a lot, I'm sure. Okay? And I will talk about something interesting for you, which is a public speaking competition that will take place in our school. I will take time to do that later on. Thank you so much, Mr. Dean, for giving me the chance.
No, I think I have my mic. I can just. Thank you so much, dear colleagues. I wonder if this is working well. Can you hear me, please? No? So, we need I think it works. Bien sûr.
السلام عليكم سعادة العميد زملاء النواب العميد زملاء الأساتذة حضور كريم كل باسمي وصفتي مع حفظ الأنساب والألقاب كان اللغة الإنجليزية نصيب وللغة الفرنسية نصيب وننسى اللغة العربية. السؤال الذي يطرح نفسه بإلحاح لماذا اللغة الإنجليزية والمعلوميات؟ لأن اليونسكو في 2000 انتقلنا من التعريف ديال الأمي هو الذي لا يعرف القراءة والكتابة. الأمي دابا في التعريف ديال اليونسكو هو الذي لا يوجد المعلوميات ولا يفتن اللغة الإنجليزية. لذلك هذا يعني احنا في باب أولى أن الطلبة الدكاترة أنهم يكونوا يتقنون اللغة الإنجليزية والمعلوميات. وكما تعرفون أن العالم الآن يعيش في واحد رمال متحركة، خصوصا اللغة الفرنسية تفقد النفوذ ديالها حتى في القواعد التقليديه ديالها. وربما تبعتوا المؤتمر الاخير ديال الفرنكوفونيا ان الرئيس الفرنسي اكد بان اكثر من 33% في الدول التي كانت تمتلك اللغه الفرنسيه وخصوصا دول المغرب العربي اصبحت لا توجد اللغه، جات من اللغه الفرنسيه اللغه الانجليزيه. وكذلك عندنا في افريقيا واحد التجربه ناجحه اللي هي التجربه ديال رواندا التي انتقلت من اللغه الفرنسيه بشكل نهائي الى اللغه الانجليزيه. وصلنا الان انها في رائده التنميه، واظن ان المغرب يسير كذلك في هذا الاتجاه، خصوصا ان ذلك يتناغم مع السياسه ديال ذلك من اجل السير قدما في التنميه والتقدم وخدمه الانسان وما الى ذلك. اتمنى لكم التوفيق والسلام عليكم ورحمه الله تعالى وبركاته.
لا اسحب لي شو بزاف يدي. Okay, let's change this mic. I think this works better. It works better? Yes, good. Well, thank you. Thank you, dear Bedi. So I think we all know that when you speak a language, you get an insight into the cultures. You get an insight into how people think, okay, what they the way they perceive the world. So there is a question even about, does the language you speak change your view of the world? And I think it does. It's a reality, and it has been proven that yes, if you speak another language, you of course get more insight, and it can change the way you view the world. In fact, when we talk about Moroccans mainly, we are, most of us, bilinguals, trilinguals, if not even more languages quite often. Now, for the bilinguals, they usually better jobs, better prospects, and even protection against dementia, as we say, or dementia. You don't have problems with your brain when you age. So it's another scientific fact this time to learn another language. Now, a new research shows that even in the European countries, there is a big tendency now, today, to learn, and for the families to encourage their children to learn English, okay? I think my colleague, Professor Lizby, gave a percentage that President Macron has cited, but according to my research, there is 77% of EU citizens, European Union citizens, who start learning English as early as primary school. So, which means, once again, this language, whether we want it or not, is the dominant language in research, in publications, and of course, you as students, as doctoral students, the importance of this language is what has brought us together today to talk about it. Well, I want to mention something that as doctoral students, you have a chance to apply for some kind of scholarships, okay? There are grants, there are scholarships out there. You just need to master this language and to keep an eye on what's going on in the world of research and so on. There are various programs worldwide. There are multiple exchange programs, okay, like the professional exchange program, the Fulbright, okay, maybe you have heard about this before. These are American programs. Excuse me? It's behind me. Can we change? Okay. If you want. Because I have my computer here, that's a problem. Okay, it's logistics, don't worry. The physical setting. Can you hear me now? So, in fact, I was talking about how this language can help you as researchers and as professionals later on. So I was talking about and mentioned some programs that perhaps you might be interested to go ahead and look for yourselves later on. It's the Professional Exchange Program and the Fulbright. These are programs provided by the US. There is Chivian also, which is a British Council program. Okay, perhaps you might have heard about that. Well, today I would like to, in fact, share with you and introduce one of my PhD students who has successfully participated and won a scholarship to spend, I think, a month in the United States, and she benefited from this scholarship because, once again, thanks to the mastery of English, because she had to write essays, she had to prove that she can speak this language and be in a country where English is spoken. And here I would like you to welcome Miss Fsjes Ain Sebâa. Okay, so Fsjes Ain Sebâa is here today to share her experience, okay? I think what she reported to me is that it was a beautiful experience and that she really enjoyed it. And I hope that through this journey that she will take you through, you will also be inspired. And because once again, our role today here as professors, I don't know if I mentioned my name, I'm Professor Melika Hash, I think, dear Dean, and my colleagues, of course, who were English teachers, English professors. We're not only teaching, and of course, in any other specialization, we're not only teaching you, but we are also, the aim is to inspire you. So I hope that this experience that Fsjes Ain had in the United States will give you some ideas. And you're welcome, because I think she will leave us. Fsjes Ain is also, I think she will say this for herself, but she's also the director of our career center at the University Hassan II of Casablanca. So please welcome her, and I'm sure that you will need her help at some point as a career center director at, of course, the university. So the floor is yours. Ms. Brown, let me just, I'm going to switch to your presentation.
Hello everyone, hello dear Dean, dear professors, all the dear PhD students. I'm Fsjes Ain Sebâa, PhD student in learning laboratory. I'm working on the public marketing and more specifically the university branding. So today I'm going to talk to you about the so today I'm going to talk to you about the professional fellowship program. I got this year the chance to participate in this program. Today we're here to talk about this because we want our students to focus not only on their PhD project. I know it's very necessary, but you have also to keep focused on your personal development and professional development. Because a successful researcher is someone who is available to search for his opportunities to develop, to awake its curiosity, meeting new people, expand its network. We cannot do a PhD without a network. We are not going to make our research on our own. We cannot work in a silo. We are in ecosystem. We should embrace people, and also this kind of opportunities as life-changing. We cannot deny this. Has a huge impact on your personal level, cultural, and it will change your mindset positively. So for this professional program, I'm going to give you an overview about the experience. For sure, it was a professional program, but also we did a lot of things like cultural experience, volunteering experience, And also there was a side related to the academic experience. So about the PFE project, it's a project fully funded by the US Department of State. So it was a program from the US Embassy of Morocco, and we participate as a group of people from North Africa. So the program was from participation from Moroccan, Algerian, Tunisian, and Egyptian people. We were like all participating within the theme of economic empowerment. So they select all the people that are participating, making significant impact in this area of economic empowerment. So before I start presenting this program, I would like to thank warmly my PhD supervisor, Professor Malika Hawsha. I had to mention that this opportunity, I heard about it first by thanks to my professor. So it was a part of our periodical PhD supervision, and I had the chance to heard about this opportunity from her. And this is a thing that I'm focusing on. It's good to have a good relation with your PhD supervisor. You have to keep this connection because it's something that it will benefit you. Don't like be disconnected somehow from the work of PhD. Just try to keep contact with your supervisor. So as I said, this program was there was a lot of steps. First, we were like in 3 states. The first stage we were in it was the kickoff session of this program. We were in Detroit, Michigan. It was a city that it has a historical economic recovery, and it was a good place to start our program. After this, they were like dispatching all the fellows. Each one will go to a state depending on the speciality of his professional objectives. So it was an extensive program of 5 weeks, and each one, it was tailored program. Each one will precise his own objective professional, what he is aiming to learn from this program, and based on this description, they will place him in a specific organization in the US. So for our first kickoff week, it was a visit for visiting museums to learn about their culture, their history. We visited the Museum of the Innovation and Henry Ford Museum when he made experiments. We were also part of a lot of workshops to develop entrepreneurship skills and economic empowerment. We were visiting the NGOs also to learn about how they are functioning. And then after this, we were placed, my case was placed in the University of California because I had professional objective of developing the career center, how they work, best practices. So I was placed in the career center. It was also an opportunity to learn about this strategy, how they are functioning, how they are handling students, the effective. So it was very rich experience. They were like open-minded person. They were ready to share a lot of generosity in terms of sharing information. So we touched this a lot. They give a lot of opportunities for students to discover from them, which is a good environment and favorable environment to grow as a professional and student. So I had the opportunity to meet a lot of directors, do one-to-one meetings with them. And also it was a chance to share our culture as well. So once, by the end of the program, I was sharing my experience talking about the higher education system in Morocco, how it goes. There was a lot of differences between the two countries. Talking about our history, national culture. They were so fascinated, and it's worth mentioning that they were so appreciative of the Moroccan progress, the Moroccan culture. Our country has a lot of opportunities, and what I really noticed that we have a lot of opportunities in our country. It's like I encourage you to search more, because it's not sometimes as black as students see our universities or the opportunities. It just depends on your capability to search for it. See what's the positive and what are the resources and the opportunities the university offers, because there is a lot of things to learn from. And also, as part of the program, there was a lot of networking opportunities. They want us to make a lot of connection with professionals, because it's so important in sharing information. We have to make connection and sustaining them once we are coming back. There was also some professional development days for visiting other universities and knowing how it functions. The volunteer experience was also a significant part, because in the US they focus on the give back to the community. Sometimes in Morocco we don't have this culture a lot, but in US people are having this notion of giving to your community. The alumni of the universities, we don't lose the connection with them. They are always connected, giving back. If they are in higher positions, they are director, they give good opportunities for students. Also, the university organize events and glorify this alumni. So, and also for the community, we cannot develop and be wealthy or be a rich person and be empowered without helping other people. So in the US, a lot of people are volunteering, and it's a good experience. So I invite the students by this way to engage in association, NGOs. You have not to do something just non-profit organization. You will learn a lot. You will develop your leadership skills. It's free association to be part of it. It's free in the most of case, and it's a chance for you to develop and have leadership skills, meeting new people. It's very important for you. And this kind of program, they are among the criteria. They want persons that are dynamic. They are engaged in the extracurricular activities. So we have not to do something just the academic. We want someone who show us that he is an active person doing something good for the society. And also, the other part of this experience is the cultural side. I was staying 1 week with a US family. It's part of the opportunity to make us close to one family and different mindset. And this is a close opportunity to share our Moroccan culture, Moroccan dress. They know how we are our routine as a Moroccan family, and also I'm learning from them. So it was a good experience. The US family was very welcoming, and they learned a lot from me, and I learned a lot of them. And they were so tolerant. They appreciate how Moroccan also people are tolerant, because they have been in touch with a lot of Moroccan. So they really appreciate our culture and how the people are. I was placed in San Diego. It's part of the state of California. So they have a good weather. It's close as the weather we have in Casablanca, so it was a very beautiful city. As you can see here, hot weather, and it was also San Diego. It's close to Mexico, so they have you meet a lot of Spanish people, and we didn't meet just U.S. people, American people. There were Spanish people, Arab people, like from other Italian and a lot of Asian people. So it was like a melting pot of cultures, and they were. It's a good place to be for tolerance and diversity. And at the end of the program, we met with not only North African fellows, we met with other fellows from other countries. It was even a more rich experience for us. As you can see, just meeting the people, yeah, we learn about like new friends, new cultures, but also when you know good new people, you know about their background, their projects. They talk to us about a lot of projects, and we get inspired by what they are doing. And what really amazed me is that my mindset like changed. I'm not saying like significantly. You want less. You have this energy to like make something beneficial to your country. Once you are participating in this kind of program, you meet a lot of change makers, entrepreneurs, young people the same age as you, and they are on different projects. So this gives you the inspiration, motivation to do extra efforts for your country and do the same as they do, because you feel this kind of connection with your country more. You feel the identity, you belong to Morocco, you should make it, develop it the same as other countries. So it's a good experience for the mindset, networking, making connection with people, and also when I was in the United States, you try to expand your network of marketing professors, asking people about how they are handling their universities, and to make it something beneficial to my academic year also. So just finally, this was a professional program. This is briefly a PhD opportunity, and I want you really to focus on this one. It's the Fulbright. It's a 1-year program or 2-year, depending on your choice. It's U.S. Department of State funded, and it gives you the opportunity to study in the United States, being supervised by American professor. Jointly, the Moroccan professor and the American supervisor. So here I'm going to show you where you should keep an eye on the website of the U.S. Embassy. So here you're going to go to the section of education and culture, and more specifically the youth programs. My program was a professional exchange. You go to the youth program, and then you will find all sorts of programs. Check out the criteria, and once you select a program, try to work your way. It's very important, and I wish you all good luck.
Thank you. Yes. Briefly, but yes, maybe you have half a minute.
So to quickly, as I'm working in the Career Center, I want you to know that there is a structure in the university. It's the Career Center where we are working on soft skills development and job readiness development. And it's free services for all the students. We are based in Faculté de Droit.
Okay, thank you.
You are invited to come. I can talk you about more opportunities. You are welcome, and I wish you all good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fsjes Ain Sebâa. So I would like, on behalf of the PhD students here present today and my colleagues, to thank Fsjes Ain Sebâa for sharing her experience, which I think will be definitely inspiring to all of you here. So for the Career Center, I think we will also provide the information for the students. Now, before we move to talk a little bit about, and I think we had thought about, if you have any questions, perhaps later on for Fatima Zahra, she can answer them. Unless, are you still staying with us, or do you have to leave? Can you stay a bit? Oh, okay, so she can stay for a few minutes later. So I just want to again thank her, and before we go into how we are going to organize this training for you, because my colleagues here, Professor Youssef will briefly mention and tell you a little bit about, of course you will get more detail about how the courses will be organized. So, as I said, you are about 200 students, so which will be organized into groups, and we will take care of that, and you will receive, of course, the group to which you belong. So I think Professor Youssef Mdri has something to say about this organization of the present course.
Just concerning the program, the Fulbright program, it's called the Joint Supervision, and it's exclusively for students of the first year and second year students, PhD students or doctoral students. It means that you are third year or fourth year students, you're not going to be eligible. So please be careful and try to keep contact with someone from America, another professor, in order to find the topic that relates Morocco and America. For example, anything about the Moroccan economy comparing to the American economy. So in this way, your proposal will be accepted. So please try to seize this opportunity, because it's a life-changing opportunity. You know the story of Mohammed Basso benefited from this scholarship. He went to America and through this joint supervision. Maybe that's not a good example.
Well, it's not bad.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dean, dear colleagues, dear students, for this opportunity to exchange ideas about the course. First of all, let me reiterate and stress the importance of the need of having a course such that this. And this need stems, as Mehdi has already mentioned, stems from the need that you are expected to operate internationally. Now, doctoral students and as academics, as researchers, and as future scholars, you are expected to operate internationally. It means an international researcher, which means the need to have English to contribute research ideas, to produce knowledge, is highly appreciated and is part of your career and requirements. Right? And concerning the goals of the course, we would like to accompany you and help you achieve a level of autonomy of using English so that you are able to produce knowledge and to operate successfully and effectively and adequately, okay, in this context, right? But the question is, what kind of English do you need to function properly in this context? So, in so doing, we try to integrate an approach that is as the base, as indirect in the intersection of academic English for academic purposes and research skills that you need. Okay, which means the approach that will be adopted for this course is taking draws from English for academic purposes, the English that you need to learn effectively at the university context, university setting, and the research skills that you need, for example, to produce knowledge, to produce research papers, or be able to present your ideas in conferences, etc. Right? So this is in general, or briefly, the approach that we have adopted. So concerning the syllabus, it will be skill-based, okay, as I said before. You need the skills, the language skills,
and the research skills that you need to achieve that level of autonomy, to be able to produce knowledge using English. Fine? Concerning the activities, because we have a concern about attendance, so we thought to, in terms of the course format, we will be able to alternate between face-to-face and remote sessions. Okay? So to give a chance for the maximum of students to, this doesn't mean that, but priority should be given to face-to-face classes.
We just need a minute to...
Yes, go ahead. Sorry for that. So it's just that our dean wants to leave us, but in fact, in recognition for his efforts and also for his initiatives. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, dear colleague, but because I think you will be welcome to give us, to perhaps ask questions if you have any, and that will probably take more time. So I just want to perhaps mention that you need, one of the purposes of your English training is that to encourage you to publish, and the publication is today, I think it has been made quite easy. I have myself lived an experience recently in which I have been the editor of a book, and of course there has been, if you want, can you go to the, I just want to share this. Okay. So, I want to, in fact, show the students that the book is here, and the copy is, has been ordered specifically for Dean Bedi. Can you please join us? This is in recognition for your encouragement, and it's the edited book through one publisher from the United States. Once again, thank you, and it's in recognition for the efforts you have been, making to encourage us as professors and as researchers. Now we'll let him go, but he will go with a copy of the book that I have myself, been able to publish. There have been contributions of chapters from 4 continents. My colleague Nadri here is one of the contributors from Africa, from Morocco, myself and Professor Nadri. But the chapters came from 4 continents, from the US, from Europe, from Africa, and from Asia. Once again, thank you. This is your copy, and that's why we want to keep it here. Thank you.
Merci professeur Malika pour ce traitement. Oui, j'ai suivi un petit peu la recherche et ton travail sur ce produit maintenant. C'est un produit de qualité, comme quoi la recherche c'est très important. Professeur Malika Richa nous a rejoint en tant que professeur de langue école anglaise. Comme quoi la langue anglaise ouvre les portes. Maintenant, professeur Richa, elle embrasse. Elle m'a dit bien qu'elle ne m'a pas embrassé moi. Elle embrasse beaucoup de disciplines scientifiques, d'économie, sciences sociales, etc. Et moi, j'ai vu un petit peu la progression du professeur Malika qui passe très vite. Donc, elle n'a pas perdu de temps. Et maintenant, elle a produit un bon ouvrage que je vous conseille de lire. Je te remercie beaucoup. Donc, et je te souhaite encore plus de réussite et de performance. Merci beaucoup. Donc, je vous souhaite beaucoup de courage pour votre travail. Ne perdez pas de temps. Produisez vous aussi. Il faut publier. Publier en anglais. De préférence en anglais. N'est-ce pas, Azil?
I just want to say that this was done during the COVID period, so and it carries.
La période du Covid nous a réveillés un petit peu, nous a secoués, nous a poussés à travailler, à innover. Comme quoi, lorsqu'on est acculé contre le mur, on travaille. C'est pour ça qu'il faut pousser. Merci professeur Malika, merci professeur Omar, Nathalie Zahra, Youssef. Bon courage, merci beaucoup.
This is the boxing which it came from the United States.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Bedi, for your time. So we will continue, of course, with you. I'm really, once again, sorry, dear colleague Youssef, because I had to interrupt you, because he was leaving, so to catch him, that's another issue. So, please continue. Where were you? Do you remember? Let's test their brain.
What was the last point?
We're going to speak about how we can assist students in your courses.
Okay, good.
But we have a question if you have a platform for this or not. And we will have a platform?
I think we will work on Google Meet.
So are you talking about courses remote? Yeah, so it's going to be hybrid. Most probably, if you are students of this university, so you have your ENT accounts, normally we try to go through that. If it's working, that's something that we will check with our Vice Dean in charge of the digitalization. Otherwise, it's going to be Google Meet as, you know.
Also Zoom and platform. Yes.
In the platform. So I think that should be no problem. So, yes.
I will give you the true response.
To continue? You're done? Are you sure?
Unless there are questions.
Okay. All right, so we open then, maybe Professor Omar Zawi, do you want to say something?
Concerning the platforms, you asked about which platform are we going to use. We can use some platforms like Schoology, etc. But in our case, it's just a hybrid way of learning, which means that we are going to use Google Meet, and the next session will be face-to-face, and assessment actually will be face-to-face. So online method or mode is just a complementary one, it's not 100%. But if we want to, if you are interested in platforms, there are a lot of interactive platforms like Schoology, I think, and Flipgrid, but basically we are going to rely on Zoom or it's just
Thank you. You reminded me of the assessment component, how you will be assessed. When you say assessment, it means test, examination, right? We agreed that during the course, we will be working on, as I said, because we're going to draw on research skills, we will be working mainly on abstracts from authentic articles, okay? Research articles, we work on abstracts, maybe some parts of the article, and for the assessment, most probably we have to summarize, to work on a research article, doing a summary or a synthesis, right? So that's the expected way of assessing your performance. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, dear colleagues. Yes, I think we will open a session for answer and question. So, yeah, you can mention that.
So, there's a...
Okay, Professor Omar is going.
As I told you before, there is a public speaking competition. Are you familiar with the public speaking? Fsjes Ain Sebâa. It's a competition that would encourage students and teach them to learn how to speak in public. Okay, so that's an opportunity for you to master English, not just for the mastery of the language, but also to know how to speak, how to communicate in public, and this is very as a soft skill. So the competition it's in the making, and we have decided before that it's going to be exclusively for master students, but we are looking forward to inviting you if you are interested in participating. It's going to be most probably in April, but prior to that you will be asked to prepare speeches if you are interested. First you will be asked to enroll. We will take your names if you are interested, and then give you time to get prepared with your teachers and instructors, your tutors. So in case any one of you is interested, you can just tell us. If you have time before.
Okay. I think as we go, you will be receiving more information about this activity. So again, as Fatim Zahra just mentioned, so as PhD students, you should not lock yourself into a room and try to work individually. So you have to open up to the world, to multiply your chances. And I think one of the activities is this public speaking competition, to which, as my colleague said, we initially thought we would make it limited to the master's students. But today we said, why not? I mean, PhD students, if you are good in it, of course, there will be some kind of training, but you're most welcome to join this activity. So I hope that today we have given you an overview, because we wanted it to, it's not an English. I think some of you came here thinking that we would start teaching English today. That's what I heard from some people, but no, this is an inaugural session in which we want to have the majority, and I think it's not bad as a number, so I can see some people maybe have left, but it's acceptable, knowing that we've got some people following us directly online. Once again, thank you for your presence, and we would like to see our PhD students active in their respective laboratories. Today we are gathering here, and we know that you are from different laboratories. Mine is Narmig, but there is Narmed, there are other Miage or something. What is it? Mayaj, okay. Once again, be active, be present, because some of you perhaps are, working, you have your professional life, but I think since you have chosen to register for a PhD, you should also try to find a balance. Otherwise, believe me, because I have lived through the experience of being a professor, but at the same time trying to do my PhD, it's not always easy, but you have to make some sacrifices, and that should be possible. So I think I will open a session for question and answer. If there is anybody who is today here, from the different presentations you've had, if you have any specific questions, so let's, yes.
I would like to thank you first of all.
You will.
To thank you, and then can you let us know about the schedule, because we are working and it will be so hard for us.
Yes.
So maybe to assist to
okay.
And then the second question is about some applications that you can use for research, like deeply, in order to translate some research for us. It's you advise us to use this or not, or we have to keep in touch with you in order that we can try. Maybe it will be so hard for to keep in touch with all of us. Maybe so. There is another way that we can use it, and thanks a lot.
You're welcome. I think we will answer question by question, and then it will make things easier. First of all, the schedule. Well, yes, as my colleague mentioned, these are, we have thought, because we had a meeting before organizing this today's meeting. We had a meeting, just the three of us. By the way, we're only 3 English professors in this faculty, hoping that the number will be, larger in the future. The schedule, as we said, because we have chosen a hybrid mode, and it's going to be one class face-to-face, another remotely or online. So which means, in total, we are thinking at this beginning, there will be, it's like a module of 20 hours. So in total, you will have like 10 classes. So of these 10 classes, only 5 will be face-to-face. So even if you are working, and of course the date, the day will be announced to you ahead of time. So if you're working, you can make your arrangements to be absent from work. If you're not working, then of course there's no problem. That's it. Okay, so I think there should be no problem. So the other one, which is online, I think you can make time, and you need to make time to, this is your management. We tell you how it's going to be, but finally it's your decision. But we, I think one way, as the dean said, or maybe I don't remember who said it, there's going to be an evaluation. Yes, Yusuf, Professor Madri mentioned, at the end of the course, I mean, of course, when you take a course, there is some kind of an evaluation at the end. So the evaluation will be based on what you study, what you do, just to assess how much you have grasped, how much you have mastered, what you have done. And we want to make it, of course, again, we had some kind of brainstorming in the meeting. My colleagues and I, we are not going to teach you the ABCs of English. The ABCs, you have to do them by yourselves, I'm sorry. But, of course, if you need any help, we can always provide. I mean, when it comes to grammar and things like that, we cannot really waste, we don't have much time anyway. So we will work on things that you will need more, okay? For example, research-oriented, like, for example, each class will be dedicated to a particular aspect, like my friend earlier, my colleague mentioned abstract, how to write an abstract, when you read an abstract, what are the things that should be in an abstract. So this is hitting the two birds with one stone, which means you are reading, and what you're going to read are articles from research, and we will try, again, because you should not forget that we're not your supervisors. We are English trainers, or we will help you towards English, I would say, proficiency, and so on. So other things you will work when it comes to research, it's the role of your supervisor, but we try to make this English course content-based, which means the reading materials will be, let's say, because you're students of, I know that there are students of today here from the law department, so maybe one of the articles will be in relation to law, okay? Another article will be in relation to marketing, for example, statistics, or whatever. So there will be a variety of topics, but when it comes to research, there are some common elements, common points, okay? How to write an abstract, everybody should know how to write an abstract. And you need to read an abstract before you write one, okay? So we have to use what we call the receptive skills before. My colleague also mentioned that it's going to be skills-based, which means the 4 skills that you know: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So the receptive, through which you receive information, reading and listening, and then productive skills. Before, when you speak, you are producing; when you are writing, you are producing. So this is, I think, the whole idea, and there will be a specific syllabus that is going to be for all the students, okay? For all the first and second year. So the syllabus will be shared with you in due course. Okay? Any other question? I don't know if my colleagues, if you have anything else to add.
Asked about whether it is feasible to use a software and application to translate. Right. You mean your research? Or
I'm talking about the research.
I don't think it's advisable for this simple reason that, for example, in English, there is something that we call false cognates, the faux amis. I think you're aware of this characteristic of language. For example, the difference between supporter and to support.
Yeah.
It's not the same meaning.
It's not assister.
Assister, to assist someone and assist. But there are a number of language features, linguistic features, that mark or highlight differences between English and French. So it's not advisable to use a translation. This is a level of words. The same applies at the level of sentences and paragraphs.
So it will be interesting to translate just the idea of.
I think as a first step you can do that. But I mean, if you want to proofread, look at the mistakes and in terms of language appropriateness, if this is appropriate to say in this context or not, you have to include the human, the human component, right?
I think the idea of translation or translating before, we have different stages when you talk about language learning. I think we go through different stages. Yes, you can start. Perhaps sometimes when you don't know a word, it's necessary to know it in Arabic or French so that you can conceptualize, you can get the idea. But I think the mastery of the language also comes through reading. Just put yourself, immerse yourself into this language. Read the first time, the second time, explain words. I even ask my students not to use a English-French dictionary, but to use English from the beginning. Do you see what I mean? Because it gives you an idea, and when I explain a word by another word, so I'm learning 2 words instead of just one, and it's really helpful. It's a little bit painful, mind you. Think about how you learned Arabic or French, or when you were children. Definitely you suffered, but you don't remember. So I think most of you here, perhaps, I'm sure you are at different levels of the of mastery of English, but a lot of people, and I'm sometimes surprised how English is getting through society easily. Now you have people speaking English, you have shops with names in English in Casablanca, in different small cities even, and so on. So I think total immersion is better. Yes.
Juste une petite précision. En termes de traduction, l'université a mené un projet pour traduire les articles des travaux de recherche des professeurs des sciences sociales et des sciences humaines, mais les anciens professeurs qui ne sont pas capables de produire en anglais. Donc on a beaucoup de production en français, donc on doit traduire en anglais pour augmenter la notoriété de notre université. Donc ça pour les profs, d'accord. Par contre, pour les nouveaux, les doctorants, il faut qu'ils s'y mettent, ils se plongent pour améliorer leur niveau d'anglais. Et les profs ici sont pour un support. Donc heureusement qu'on a ce type de profs, des profs avec qui j'ai beaucoup travaillé. Donc on a la chance de les avoir au niveau de notre établissement. Donc pour les nouveaux doctorants, il faut qu'ils commencent à rédiger en anglais, et ça s'améliore au fur et à mesure qu'ils avancent dans leurs travaux. Merci.
Merci, Ustad Yaqoubi.
How many hours will be?
20 hours. So for one module, it's not enough. Yes, I can tell you from today that it's not enough, believe me. To be frank with you, because that's what we can do so far. If we could do more, we would. Yes.
Désolé de vous interrompre, mais il y a des exigences administratives. Je suis ici en tant que vice-doyen chargé de la recherche scientifique. Donc pour les étudiants qui sont inscrits en première année et en deuxième année dans le descriptif, d'accord, de l'accréditation des formations doctorales, les étudiants de la première et la deuxième année doivent valider des modules de formation doctorale. On a ça dans le cahier de charge, d'accord? C'est-à-dire c'est 30 heures en maths, en informatique et en anglais, c'est nécessaire. D'ici la fin de l'année, il faut que les étudiants de la deuxième année, il faut qu'ils valident ces modules. Oui.
Ici, est-ce qu'on parle, donc il faut
sépare deux choses.
Oui.
Est-ce qu'on cherche, donc, c'est-à-dire à parfaire donc, les connaissances des doctorantes, ou bien donc, on cherche à valider? Donc,
non. L'objectif principal, c'est d'améliorer le niveau des étudiants. Quand on a accrédité les formations doctorales, c'est pour cette finalité.
Non, mais croyez-moi qu'avec 20 heures ou 30 heures, on ne peut pas. Donc, on n'arrivera jamais à y avoir, hein, sincèrement, parce que c'est un programme qu'on devait l'établir au préalable. Donc, bien sûr, donc, avec les encadrants, tout cela, donc c'est votre.
كاين واحد القاعدة فقهية. كاين قاعدة فقهية كتقول لك ما لا يدرك كله لا يدرك جله. اش كنعني بها؟ كنعني بها c'est-à-dire si vous voulez une formation approfondie en anglais, vous devez fournir un effort considérable. D'accord? هذا d'une part. Donc pour nous, c'est un engagement envers le ministère. L'accréditation, c'est-à-dire qu'il y a 30 heures. Avec 30 heures négatif, entre 30 heures, ça c'est l'accréditation. On doit remplir les conditions de l'accréditation. Administrativement parlant. D'accord?
Je voulais juste mentionner une chose, c'est-à-dire pour les nouveaux, pour les années prochaines, donc il vaut mieux donc, faire des propositions.
Oui.
Même, j'en suis sûr, à certains même persuadés que même si vous faites ça pour la ministère, soi-disant le ministère de l'enseignement, ils ne vont pas refuser parce que, c'est-à-dire au lieu d'octroyer 20 heures, on peut faire 40 heures.
دابا كاين استاذ اش قلت لك ما لا يدرك جله لا يدرك كله لا يدرك جله اش كنعني حنا vous avez devant vous 5 ans de formation. Vous avez devant vous 5 ans de formation. Ces profs ne vont pas arrêter après les 30 heures. هذا هو الفرق. قلنا فينا البعد. D'accord.
So I will continue in English because I want you from today to put yourself in the mold and just get on with your English. To be honest with you, when you did your master's degree or when you did your bachelor, there was a number of, for example, let's take marketing. You have 30 hours per module. Does it mean that you master all the aspects of marketing, for example, in that module? No. So it's the same thing for the language, and it's even more for the language, because if your level is at 0 level, and there is somebody here who is somewhere in the middle, in the middle there, so they will definitely bypass and go faster than you. So you have, I always tell my students, if you are at a lower level, you have to make more efforts. That's for sure, okay? Now, what we say when we say 20 hours, it could be more, but for the moment, immediately for the semester, 20 hours. It does not mean that these trainings will finish. We are starting, and they will, inshallah, continue, okay? On est dans la continuité, c'est pas dans le, d'accord? But the mastery of the language does not mean that by doing 20 hours you will master English. You have to make more efforts, and I think it's possible to do that. Okay? Any other question? Okay. So, well, I hope, yeah. Normalement, oui. Alors, pour cette formation, I don't want to sleep, okay, comme on dit. نزلق معاك نمشي بالفرنسي ولا العربية. Donc, I remain. I think my colleague just mentioned yes. Now, this evaluation is related to the seriousness of the training, because your attendance is a must. You have to be there, okay? Of course, we know that you're responsible, you're adult people, and you're responsible for your learning, but because, again, you have to understand that this faculty, there are 3 of us, there are almost 11 masters, and I don't know how many bachelor degrees, so we are solicited for all these majors, but we are adding this to our, do you see what I mean, to our load, okay? So which means in terms of time, I'm not talking about money, because there is no money. In terms of time, it's a lot of investment. And of course, money, perhaps, you will be given space, you will be given electricity and things in order to, when you come to class, to have class. So definitely, when there is a training, okay, when there is some kind of course, there should be an evaluation towards the end. Now, the evaluation again, it's for your benefit, because I think, as Professor Yacobi said, who is here, you know, with the two hats, the Vice Dean for Research, in charge of research, tells you that this is part of your evaluation, I mean, part of your, how should I say, the assessment is for you, because I think you have a certain number of hours that you have to do in terms of maybe teaching, maybe also supervising exams, but this one is going to go in this booklet that you have as, je me trompe pas, it's correct. Okay, in terms that you have done these, and again, because the whole philosophy, again, it's not only the evaluation. So I know that students, when you talk about evaluation, that's really when things get, when there is a hic, as we say. But this, you should not see it this way. You should see it as when you finish, when you get your degree, you will also have this certificate that you have done this number of English courses. You will also be able, when you apply for a job in a multinational company, or I don't know, you will have this as a big plus in your CV that you have done this. And I didn't want to start earlier by saying that you should, you know, you have to consider yourselves lucky because you're doing this training free of charge. Go and check for a language course in one of the cheapest language centers, and the minimum you could pay is, what do you think the minimum you have to pay for 20 hours or 30? What is the minimum?
Maybe 5,000 dirham.
Okay, I'll make it a bit less. Let's say 3,000. It's money, so you have to pay that. Now, alhamdulillah, you will have this free of charge. It's part of your training, and when assessment comes, it's going to be assessment just about what you have learned, to see if you have mastered, if you have grasped. And again, this necessitates some kind of engagement, some kind of involvement in the course from all of you, definitely. Yes?
First of all, I would like to thank you for this great initiative. So my question is...
Can you raise your voice?
Question is, there is a relation between the program of courses that we ensure and
Maybe that mic is not working. Yes.
So there is a relation between the program of courses that will ensure and sorry, I'm little sick. So and the program of courses that we can find in the Coursera platform. So
in the
Coursera platform that we find in the ENT platform.
Well, we're not.
Coursera is Coursera, XGS is XGS. So this is probably, I think, you know that Coursera also, it's not, yes, Ustad. He's,
Une autre fois, donc pour l'amélioration de votre niveau d'anglais, la présidence elle met à votre disposition pas mal de choses. Entre autres, c'est une plateforme de langue qui s'appelle Coursera. D'accord? Coursera, vous pouvez passer le test de positionnement, et vous commencez votre apprentissage de façon autonome. Ces cours n'ont rien à voir avec Coursera. D'accord? Ces cours, c'est un engagement de la formation doctorale. C'est-à-dire que nous avons établi une formation doctorale en sciences et gestion, en sciences politiques, en économie et en droit privé. Donc, 4 formations doctorales. Dans ces 4 formations doctorales, on a mis l'accent sur la nécessité de maîtriser la langue anglaise. Car cette langue, il nous permet de publier, d'accord? Et par suite, on aura une visibilité de notre université, de notre établissement. Donc, on a commencé avec 30 heures, d'accord? C'est une initiation. Une initiation n'est pas une simple initiation. Si vous avez remarqué l'intervention de M. Nadri, du professeur Nadri, qu'est-ce qu'il a dit? L'objectif de cette formation, ils vont baser la formation sur l'étude d'un article scientifique. Comment écrire un abstract, d'accord? C'est-à-dire que cette formation, elle est concentrée sur la partie recherche, d'accord? Chose que vous ne pouvez pas trouver ailleurs. D'accord? Donc, cette formation, elle est obligatoire parce qu'on a un engagement envers le ministère, on doit l'honorer. Sinon, on va tomber dans un problème de diplôme. Quand l'étudiant, une fois qu'il finit ses travaux de recherche, il va avoir son diplôme de docteur dans sa discipline. Donc, il y a des gens qui ne sont pas, qui sont des techniciens, qui vérifient. Vous avez fait ça, vous avez rempli la première condition, la deuxième condition, la troisième condition, ainsi de suite. Donc, si une petite condition nous échappe, elle va nous poser devant une situation problématique. Donc, la formation dans ces deux matières, en informatique et en anglais, c'est pour remplir ces conditions. Mais Coursera et améliorer votre niveau d'anglais, vous avez beaucoup d'autres ressources, entre autres Coursera. Et les profs ici, ils sont très généreux. Très généreux, الله يزيد بارك الله كندعي معاهم ليل ونهار لأن فاش البنت كتكلم على l'université de Santiago. Moi je suis un prof de maths. J'ai travaillé avec un prof de l'université de Santiago. Je n'ai pas pu avoir l'occasion de me à Santiago une conférence. Donc ce sont des opportunités qui sont offertes à nos étudiants, à nos doctorants, et qu'ils doivent exploiter au maximum. Merci.
I just want to add something that perhaps Professor Yacobi reminded me of now, just talking about the student. This, in fact, I have so far five students I'm supervising because I've decided I'm not taking more than what I can help. You have, as she said, to be to have this how should I say, resilience, insisting. You have to have this. The thing that we don't see in our students, in most students today. Everybody says, "Oh, nothing is being done for us." But this student, when I have in fact shared this with the rest of the other students, my PhDs, but she was the one who took that idea and she followed it up through. I think the future belongs to the people who don't give up. You should not give up, okay? Because nobody, and as you see, I mean, earlier, she's really, when she started, her English was not as good as it is today, okay? But she reads, and she still has a lot to improve in her English, okay? But she is the person who really took the idea, she grasped the idea. Once I gave them that link, and I talked more or less the same way to most of them, but she was the one who came to me and said, I have applied. And they said, okay, now can you help me to, how do I write this essay? How do you do this? Shruti comes, you have to go to your professors. Unfortunately, this you know, you are PhD students, maybe first, second year, and I think the reason why we have insisted that we should start with first, second, is because you still have a lot of time ahead. The problem sometimes you have a PhD student, they disappear in Asia for 1 year, and they come back and say, what have you done? Nothing. So you cannot expect the professor, the supervisor, to do the work on your behalf. You are responsible for looking, trying to find the professor and try to, do the best you can, because it's easy. You know, you think you have 3 years, 4 years. Oh, it's a long time. Believe me, you have seen that. Time goes so fast. Semester 1 done, second, that's a year. Okay, so start planning. I always encourage students to have what we call a timeline, in which I will do this for this week. Count your semesters in terms of weeks, not in terms of months. Okay, it works better. So I think we will have to stop here unless my colleagues have something to say. Thank you very much for your presence, and we will be looking forward to meeting you. Again, you will have, this is the team so far, okay? Professor Nadri, Professor Omar Zawiya, and Professor Hawsha Malika. You will be divided into groups, and you will receive, each one will receive the name of who the professor they will be spending this time with. And once again, thank you very much for your presence.
السلام ورحمة الله. لاباس عليك؟
كنشكرك بزاف مرحبا تبارك الله عليك. والله يا سناء والله بغيت غير شي حاجه.
وي بوزيت الدكتور؟
دكتور سناء درت درت واحد التحدي ندير لاطيز بالله ولكن المدير راه ما واصلش من شهر 10 فاش درت الانسكريبسيون بحال عندي الوليدات 3 مقدمه في المحكم نهار كامل ملي جيت ندير كندير غير سويعه في النهار ديال هاد لا ريشيرش ديالي وكيزاد شي صعيب اليوم بحال غنتراجع.
لا ما تراجعيش، عمرك تراجع. جو سي كو سي ديفيسيل ولكن كاين دي ساكريفيس. انا اللي كنهضر معاك انا راجل درت الماستر ديالي في مونتفير والدكتوراه في مونتفير، ولكن درت الماستر ودخلت خدمت في الاخرين تزوجت ولدت بنيته وداك الشيء هذا. دونك سكيفي مشيت درت لانسكريبسيون دكتور. اي بور فو دير ان بتي بو رابيدمون à certains moments j'étais obligée تخلي بنتي هنا وراجلي ومشيت باش نكمل الدكتوراه. دونك غير بور فو دير انت هنا في المغرب وداك الشيء تو بو لو فير. دونك ان شاء الله ولاد وصغار وداك الشيء ماشي الا غادي في المحكمه. شنو في المحكمه؟ موظف يعني نهار كامل 8 المحكمه هذه الاحداث محمديه. شوف انا دابا المشكله هو ملي كتكون لا فولون انت تو شوازي ان سوجي اللي بغيتي شكون المسير ديالك؟ سكان الدروا شويه الدروا. داكور
عندي داكشي سميتو ديال المحكمه يعني استقلال القضاء جوديشيال اندبندنس.
لا هو سيستم تاع ورا تيشجع الطلبه
باش باش نخدموا هادشي جاني بحال هذا التقييد لان شويه
الدكتوراه كلها الدكتوراه سي ان بروسيس. بون هذه كانت الاستاذه ديالي اللي كنت في الانجليزيه الانجليزيه وداك الشيء قالت لي راه خاصنا شويه النفس الطويل، ولكن ان ترافاي ريغولي ديال كل نهار خصني نخدم ماشي نخلي حتى يتجمع الخدمه وهذا.
ما عرفتش حتى كيفاش نخدم سمحي لي انا مازال ما غنشدكش اكثر من هذا.
لا
الا كانوا يتواصلوا
ان شاء الله مني غادي هذا هو غنجي عندك. شوف هما لي بروف ديال هادو لي بروف راه بحالي انا